10 Hut. Hi guys, General Splatton here. Today I want to talk about buying a airbrush setup and what you'll need and where you can find it and what it's going to cost. But first, I got a shout out. This, if I can get the camera going pretty good, is Dark Titan 01's channel. That's Dark Titan 01. Great guy, and his name implies he builds Titans, but he does a lot of other 40K stuff as well. I remember when he might have deleted the videos or had a different channel where he custom built or scratch built a Titan that was like 6 or 7 feet tall. I was looking for that video in his list, but I couldn't find it. So I don't know if he still has them up or if that was on an old channel. But check this guy out. He's great, and if you have any questions about anything Titan related, he's your man. That's Dark Titan 01. Great channel. You'll learn a lot. Let's show him some love, guys. Alright, back to the airbrush stuff. Now, after watching Buy Painted, and many of you are already subscribed to him and know exactly who I'm talking about, but he did several months ago about buying your first airbrush or buying an airbrush, and he recommended go to eBay and buy the cheapest one you can find in the clear container with a blue foam, and that's exactly what I did. This was around $20. You might can actually find them cheaper, but this is a dual action airbrush. It has a 0.2 needle, and it is an excellent little airbrush. Very comfortable to use, works very well, and it does great for the job that I need it to do. If you're a person that has never airbrushed before, I had never airbrushed before because I thought it was just way too expensive to get into that portion of the hobby. But after seeing his video and several others, I realized that it need not be that way. So $20 off of eBay. There's a lot of different sources for these. These are made in Hong Kong. Excellent airbrush. It has a quick connect that I put on there. Here's the box. It has a lid, dropper, adjustment wrench, and it did come with its own quick connector, but I use a different one. So $20 off eBay. Now, as far as my compressor, I got this off eBay as well. This is a Central Pneumatic one. $55 including shipping, and it came with the moisture trap and air pressure regulator. I do have one recommendation. It did come with this little hose. I don't recommend you using one of these. It hampers my movements, let's say it that way. I don't like it because it's tugging on me as it's trying to coil itself back up or spring back into its original position. So I don't like it for that reason. It restricts my movements and hampers my ability to move the airbrush as I need to. What I do recommend is what's attached now, and let me just kind of pull it up here. Is this is just one of the 10-foot hoses. I do have a quick connect right here with a flow regulator as far as regulating the flow of air through it. I never use it. I just leave it all the way open. But this was about I bought this separately, so this was about $15. No, it was around 10 or 12. There we go. And so I recommend you get one of these depending on what setup you buy. Now, so 55, 20, 10, and then you'll need something to clean it out with. So I got me a little pot. Then I don't have a separate airbrush holder, so I use one of these. Just stick it on there, and that's where I hold my airbrush. $10 or $15 off eBay as well. And that's all you need, except for your thinning agents, paints, cleaning agents, and whatnot. But that's what you need to start with. Now, I do want to tell you this: you can go on eBay right now and you can buy a whole setup where you'll have the compressor, you'll have a moisture trap and regulator. It'll come with a hose, and you can get up to like 3 airbrushes in a unit, anywhere from like $70 up to say $120 to put in, depending on which setup you go with. There's a lot of different choices out there. I kind of wish that when I was recently doing this, I'd went with a whole setup where I got, you know, 1, 2, 3 airbrushes and everything else I needed with it for around $100, $120 or whatever. So what am I saying really? It's not very expensive to get into this portion of the hobby. You know, for around $100 or less, you can buy some great products that are going to last you a long time. You don't, in other words, you don't need the name brand high ticket items to get started. If you've never airbrushed before, I recommend going this route. Why? Because you won't be spending a lot of money, and you can learn on something like this and build confidence, build skill, build ability, and then if you so choose, then you can go buy the name brand equipment with more features. Now, also want to recommend, there's another YouTube channel out there called CRB1177. Highly recommend you go check that out. He shows airbrushes like these as well, and he shows a little more advanced model that has much more ability to adjust pressure, flow, and paint flow, everything, airflow, for a little bit more, you know, around $30–$40, that particular airbrush. And I'm thinking about eventually getting one, but for right now, for learning on, this cannot be beat. You know, less than $100 and you're airbrushing, folks, and you can do a great deal with that. In the case of By Painted, that's what he uses, period. An airbrush like that. So you don't even need to go to the name brand unless you so choose in the future. Certainly this will be a great learning tool and source to learn on, and then you can branch out into other airbrushes and other compressors and setups and whatnot. So that's my recommendations. Remember those two channels, By Painted and CRB1177, to give you some great information. Certainly have a lot more experience and ability with an airbrush than I do, but I wanted to show my setup for one simple reason. You need not have to be fearful of trying to get into the airbrush hobby because it's too expensive. I have learned, and I'm passing that knowledge on to you, so that, hey, for the price of a couple of boxes of Space Marine Terminators, so for you guys that play Space Marines, you could be airbrushing. So let's put that in relative terms for you. Or if you go to buy one of the big privateer press models now, the war engines, that's one of those, yeah, one of those if you buy one of the cheaper setups. So let's put it in perspective and say it's not as bad as you think. If you buy that real expensive model, chances are, hey, you can buy the airbrush setup. So just want to share that with you. Price is not the issue anymore when it comes to getting into airbrushing. So good luck. If you disagree or agree, leave it in the comment section below. I ask you please comment, rate, subscribe. And this is General Splatton, and I'll talk again. Dismissed.